ASUS ROG NUC 2025 Gaming Mini PC promises full-fat desktop gaming performance in a tiny 2.5-liter box. Either we've finally reached true portable beast mode, or we've hit a very expensive thermal toaster. On paper it's wild. Intel Core Ultra 9, RTX 4070 laptop GPU, up to 64 gigs of DDR5, dual PCIe 4.0 SSDs, Thunderbolt 4, Wi-Fi 7, all crammed into something smaller than an old-school console. Sounds like the perfect space-saving monster, right? But here's the thing. When you squeeze that much power into this little volume, physics starts fighting back. I daily drove the ROG NUC 2025 as my main gaming and editing rig for 3 solid weeks to see if it's the real deal or just premium tech roulette. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description. But before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 3 weeks of testing. The ROG NUC 2025 is marketed as the no-compromise mini gaming PC. ASUS claims it can replace a full desktop while staying whisper quiet and cool in a tiny footprint. The main promises are 1 desktop-class 1440p and even 4K gaming thanks to the RTX 4060 or 4070 options. 2 creator-ready performance for 4K video editing and heavy multitasking with Intel Core Ultra 7 and Ultra 9 CPUs. 3 silent or near-silent operation thanks to advanced cooling and smart fan curves. 4 easy upgradability with tool-less access to RAM and dual M.2 SSD slots. Sounds like the dream setup for small desks and dorm rooms, right? A legit living room or bedroom powerhouse. But here's where things get interesting. Reality check. They claim desktop performance in a chassis smaller than a shoebox. What you actually get is laptop-class hardware pushed very hard in a tight space. In my testing with the Ultra 9 plus RTX 4070 configuration, Cyberpunk 2077 at 1440p high, with DLSS quality sat around 80-95 FPS. That's solid, but let's be real. That's roughly what a good gaming laptop with the same specs does, not a full desktop RTX 4070. The marketing never screams that this is a laptop GPU variant, not the big desktop card. They claim cool and quiet operation. What you actually get is cool or quiet, but rarely both at the same time. Running a 30-minute stress test with 3D Mark plus a CPU load, the CPU hovered in the mid-80s to low 90s Celsius, and the fans ramped up to a very noticeable whoosh. Not jet engine, but definitely present. In performance mode, this thing is absolutely audible in a quiet room. Silent mode exists, but here's the plot twist. In silent, clocks drop enough that you lose 15–20% performance in some games. That whisper-quiet claim has an asterisk the size of the NUC itself. They claim creator-grade horsepower. In Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve, 4K timeline scrubbing was smooth, and renders were fast, until the system had been under load for 20 minutes. Then you start to see the CPU gradually shave off a couple hundred megahertz to stay inside its thermal envelope. We are not talking disaster, but you lose that initial burst of benchmark glory during extended workloads. Here's where it gets mathematically impossible. You simply cannot sustain full desktop-tier CPU and GPU boost clocks for an hour inside 2.5 liters without either noise or heat becoming obvious. They also hint at easy upgradability. Yes, you can pop it open and swap RAM and SSDs, but GPU and CPU are soldered and power limited by design. This is not a long-term, endlessly upgradable tower replacement. It's more like a very fancy, modular console with a few configurable parts. If you buy the 4060 model hoping to drop a 5070 in a few years, that's not happening. That is not upgradability, that's expensive confusion. Here's where things get interesting. Real user reports I dug up across multiple review sites line up with my testing. People love the footprint and raw performance, but you see a pattern of comments about fan noise under load and higher than expected temps. Nothing catastrophic, but definitely not the magical cold and silent box the marketing hints at. Performance and thermals. In games, 1080p is absolutely overkill territory here. 1440p is the sweet spot. My Ultra 9/RTX 4070 unit pushed Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 1440p highest, around 150 FPS. Apex Legends at 1440p high, around 180 FPS. Cyberpunk 2077, 1440p high with DLSS quality, 80-95 FPS as mentioned. That's impressive for the size. But under that load, the GPU sat around 78-82 degrees C, and the CPU 85-92 degrees C, with fans clearly audible. What the marketing doesn't mention is that this thing really likes open airflow. Stuff it in a tight TV cabinet and temps spike fast. Noise and build quality. Build quality feels premium. Solid chassis, RGB accents that are actually tasteful, plenty of ports front and back. But noise is the tax you pay for this form factor. In silent or balanced mode doing normal work, web and light editing, it's fine, a soft hum. In full gaming mode, you know it is working. Not a deal breaker, but if you wanted console-level quiet, you will be disappointed. Here's what nobody tells you. Small form factor plus high wattage equals physics, no matter whose logo is on the box. Upgradability and connectivity. Tool-less access to RAM and dual M.2 slots is genuinely nice. My unit came with 32 GB DDR5 and a 1 TB SSD. Bumps to 64 GB and a second drive were trivial. Ports are stacked. HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort, Thunderbolt 4, 2.5G Ethernet, tons of USB. This part really is criminally generous for the size. The red flag is long-term value. You are locked to this CPU-GPU combo for life. Compare that to a similarly priced mid-tower desktop where a future GPU upgrade is easy. What nobody tells you in the glossy marketing is that at this price, you are paying a heavy premium for shrinking everything down, not for extra raw horsepower. Verdict. I'd call the ASUS ROG NUC 2025 a buy with caution device. If you have zero space, want a clean minimalist setup, and understand you are paying extra for form factor, it absolutely delivers legit 1440p gaming and creator performance in a tiny box. Pros: powerful for the size, great port selection, solid build, easy RAM and SSD upgrades. Cons: expensive, louder than the marketing vibe suggests under load, thermals ride the edge, and no real CPU-GPU upgrade path. At around the $2,000 mark for a higher-end config, you need to really value the footprint. Otherwise, save your money for a slightly bigger SFF or mid-tower that runs cooler, quieter, and can grow with you. Stay savage out there, and do not let RGB trick you into ignoring physics. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these deep dive investigations without costing you extra. Drop a comment with the setup you're trying to build: tiny desk battle station, living room rig, dorm room PC, and I might feature it in a future video or buyer's guide. Hit subscribe if you like honest, no BS tech breakdowns. This is your channel name, exposing the truth behind the tech hype. Catch you in the next one.